So you're thinking of buying a home but are holding off because you are hoping that home prices will drop by a lot. So the big question is, are home prices going to crash in, say, 2024, since we're already at the end of the year? Well, the market has slowed down and we've seen price reductions among available listings on the mountain. But if you are hoping for a more drastic drop, it most likely will not happen. And I have 5 reasons why home prices will not drop, but most likely they will increase. And be sure to stick around until my 5th reason, because it directly affects Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities' home prices. And we're getting after it right now. If you are new to this channel and would like to know everything about living in Lake Arrowhead, buying or selling your home in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you will be the first to know about the current market in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities. My name is Alma Borcuk with the Living in Lake Arrowhead, California team. We get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking to buy or sell their home in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities. And we absolutely love it. Whether you're making your move in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We're here ready to help the buying or selling of your home in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities smooth and stress-free. So let's get started. What are the reasons why home prices are most likely not going to decrease? And as I mentioned, I have 5 reasons why. And reason number 1 is that the inventory of homes for sale is really low. And you're asking, why is inventory so low? One major reason is that most homeowners who's got a mortgage on their home right now, about 85% of them, they have an interest rate that is very low. They're in the 3s or even in the 2s, definitely under 4%. It just makes sense that they are holding on to that low interest rate, because it means if they sell their home now and they have to buy a home to move to, that means they will have to have mortgage interest rate of about, right now we're in early December, the mortgage interest rate is around 6.6%, which is actually good. It's been hovering in the 7s and it actually went up to 8 about a month or so ago, but now it's gone down. We're now at 6.6%, but that is still a lot higher, about double of what current homeowners have on their mortgage. Most of them are in the 3% and some of them are even lower in the 2%. So it just makes sense that they're not ready to sell their home at the current interest rate. And so that's one major reason why the inventory of homes for sale is low. And as I mentioned, low supply, prices are most likely going to stay elevated and most likely won't go down. Now, reason number 2, there are a lot more buyers than sellers in the next 2 years or even 3 years, there will be even more first-time home buyers coming into the market looking to buy their first home. And I'd like to show you a graph of the U.S. population growth rate so you will understand what I'm talking about. So let's check out this graph. Here's the U.S. population growth rate graph, and it shows the growth rate from 1953 to 2009. And if you notice, from 53 to around 1961, the growth rate is pretty high, and those were the years when the baby boomers were born. Now, the crucial part of this graph that I'd like you to pay attention to is the growth rate from around 1988 all the way to about 1993. So now, if you were to add 33 years to 1988. The babies born in 1988 turned 33 years old in 2021. And it is known that the average age of a first-time home buyer is 33 years old. So if you look at the growth rate from 1988 to 1993, that means that more and more 33-year-old first-time home buyers are coming into the market. So beginning 2021 and all the way to 2026, there will be more and more of these first-time home buyers that are going to be looking to buy their first home. And that's the reason why from 2021 and then for the next 3 more years up to 2026, there will be more and more buyers coming into the market. And that's why I mentioned that home prices are likely not going to go down, because we're going to have more buyers in the next 3 years than sellers. And so simple economics, the more buyers, that means there's more demand, less sellers, less supply. And so prices are going to stay up and most likely are even going to go up. So that's one good reason to actually not wait to see if home prices are going to go down before you go searching to buy a home, because again, based on this graph, we're not gonna have prices going down because more buyers are gonna be looking. Okay, so now reason number 3 is the low unemployment rate. During the pandemic, when businesses had to close down, unemployment rate shot up to about 8% from the low 3.6% in 2019 and went up to 8.05% in 2020. But from 2020, unemployment rate has gone down consistently. From 2020, it was up in the 8% during the pandemic. But in 2021, it went down to 5.35%. And then in 2022, it went down further to 3.61%. And now in 2023, current unemployment rate is about 3.4%. So that means that a lot of people have more stable job conditions. We have a stable job market. And so that means more people have the ability to purchase a home because of their steady job situation. And so that means, again, more buyers coming into the market. And back to the economics, law of economics, more buyers, that means prices are most likely going to stay where they are. And it's possible they might actually go up. So that's reason number 3, low unemployment rate. So here's reason number 4. The U.S. has a deficit of 6.5 million homes. And this is referring to single-family residences. But if we include the multifamily homes, then the deficit goes down to about 2.3 million. But that's still a big deficit. And you might be asking, why is there a deficit? What caused the deficit to happen? Well, remember the housing crash in 2008? Before the crash, lending practices were very lax. Pretty much, if you have a pulse, you can get a loan. Do you remember that time? Anyway, it was also easy at that time before the crash. It was easy for investors who are into new construction to get loans for new construction. And so this led to overbuilding, which also contributed to the housing market crash in 2008. But then, of course, we learned our lesson from that big crash. So now, after the crash, the lending practices and standards have become a lot stricter. And so it made it harder for investors who are looking to borrow money to build new homes. And so the crash led to stricter lending standards. And so it made it a lot harder for investors to borrow money to build new homes. And on average, since 1959, the number of homes entering the market is on average 1.43 million homes. But after the crash, new housing fell drastically. And so in 2009, it was less than 600,000 new homes that went into the market. And so that's 2009 up to the present day. So it has steadily grown since then, so that in 2022, 1.5 million new homes entered the market. It's not enough to match the pace of new households that are needing homes. So it will be a while before new housing can catch up with the demand. And so that's one more reason why home prices are not likely to go down. So I'm glad you're still here. But before I tell you my last reason number 5, which actually directly affects the home prices in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino Mountain communities, I'd like to remind you that if you are looking to buy in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino Mountain communities, feel free to call, text, or email me. I am here ready to help you find that perfect mountain home. My contact information is in the description below. And also take the time to check my other videos and subscribe to my channel and tap the bell for notifications so you will be alerted when I post a new video, and I post new videos weekly. And so reason number 5, which I mentioned, directly affects the housing market in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino Mountain communities, and it is the migration of home buyers to suburban and rural areas, increasing the housing demands in those areas. And since Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino Mountain communities are considered rural areas, that means housing demand has increased in this area. And how did that come about? During the pandemic, a great number of people started working from home. And now, even with the pandemic over, people still are able to work from home, and they continue to work from home. So this gives them the flexibility to be able to live anywhere. And that's the cause of the migration to the rural areas. So a lot of home buyers are looking to work and live in Lake Arrowhead. And so the demand for homes in Lake Arrowhead and the San Bernardino Mountain communities are a lot greater since the pandemic. And that totally makes sense because housing is more affordable in the San Bernardino Mountain communities compared to the big cities like Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Diego. So it does make sense that if you're able to work from home, then why not live in this beautiful area, since the home you're going to get is so much nicer and a lot less expensive than an apartment or small home in the big cities down the hill. So in conclusion, if you are looking to buy, I'd say don't wait for housing prices to go down, as this is highly unlikely. I'd say start your search, and if you find a home that is just perfect for you, then go for it. If you intend to live in the house for a very long time, it doesn't really matter how much you paid for it. With home prices historically always going up over time, in the long run, you will come out ahead. And before I end this video, there's one more graph I want to show you, and let's go check this graph out. So here's the U.S. National Home Index graph. That's from 1990 all the way to 2020. So if you will notice, it is historically always on the uprise. So it's steadily going up, and you will see the little bumps. So it goes up, down, but overall it goes up over time. And I want you to look at this area here. This is around 2006 when home prices were at their peak. And then, of course, we had that big market crash in 2008. And this is where that crash happened. But what I want to point out is that, let's say you bought your home in 2006 at the peak of the home prices. If you did not get rid of that house, if you continued to live in it and waited it out, now you will see that even after the crash, if you're still in that house now in 2023, the home price of that house is actually a lot higher than when you first bought it in 2006. So what I'm trying to point out is that if you are buying a home and intending to live in it for a very long time, as I mentioned earlier, in the long run, you will always come up ahead in real estate. So if you are into investing, I'd say real estate is a good place to be. And so that's our video for today. I hope you learned a lot from this video, but then of course, you have to also do your own research. What I said in this video is just my opinion based on my own research, and I hope it was helpful to you. And so that's our video for today, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, bye for now.